Welcome to Did She Really Say Cast? We built a podcast really around disrupting how women have been taught business education and training, showing them that there's a better way than just in the overall doing it all the time mode. So you might hear yourself as we chat and bring on experts also thinking, did she really say that? And you'd be shocked and surprised by what we're going to share with you inside this podcast. You know, we built this incredible training called Truth Mom Academy to help women like you really elevate, expand, and grow your business. And we are more excited than ever before to really help you elevate what it means to be a female entrepreneur that has so many things going on in your life. So, hi, my name is Chef Katrina. If we haven't met yet, or you haven't been listening to our podcast for a while, I have been teaching and training digital marketing, and I love bringing to this academy and to this podcast the fun and play around organizing a business, like those systems and automation that make life easy. Yeah, that's what I like to do. Because why make this hard and confusing and technically challenging when it doesn't have to be?
Yeah, I love that. My name is Heidi Muma, and I love to help women have fun when they're actually bringing profit home in their business. They're paying themselves, not just consistently feeding their company, but their company is feeding them. And we can show you how to do that here inside Truth Mom Academy.
Yep, making money. That's my love language. And in case we haven't met, my name is Karen Angeli. I just like to bring the fun, if I'm being honest with you. I'm tired of not having fun in business. So that's what it's all about.
It is. It's always the idea of fun and bringing fun. And to be honest, I'm tired of being told that you can't have fun in business and that it needs to be more professional.
Yeah, that's stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think that thing needs to be, lies. I don't like it anymore.
You mean you don't wear that smart suit and those high heels and you have to
don't
look
get me wrong. I love my high heels, but they're going to be, oh my God, like over the top if I'm going to wear those suckers. Like, why wear traditional boring high heels? Like, those are torture chambers, but if you get cute ones, it's all about the fashion statement.
What if the suit is really cute? What if the suit is like vibrant?
Okay, it's got to be like out of the boring black and gray, like things like the navy blue and all that kind of stuff.
What if it looks like her back wall?
I would totally wear that. I would totally wear that. I think that really needs to become the new mantra around how women do business. Because be honest, like when we look at like how we're building businesses as women, it really is that we have so many great ideas. And then we're looking at like, how the heck do I fit this into my life? How do I build a business around this? Or we have these ideas like, but this already exists. So if it already exists in the world, who am I to bring it in? There are people that can do it better than me. Like I've had that thought. Like, why am I teaching this? There are people that have been teaching this far longer than I have that are probably better at this than me. So why would I bring this into the world? Why would I open up a new restaurant? Why would I do all this crazy stuff? Like, doesn't this already exist in the world? So I think sometimes what we have to look at as women is balancing. And I know this is like the total taboo subject. I can't tell you how many times I've heard you can't have work-life balance.
Yes, you can.
No.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
We're disrupting that. We're changing that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of this like belief. And I think women, we really have to slow it down. Just to be honest. And I think this is one of the beautiful things around what we talk about inside of Unlocking My Millions. Is that we have to slow down first as we build our business. I think so many times we get caught up in that I'm having success, I have to move faster and faster in order to keep up, that we forget the process is slow down. Like stop, take a moment, breathe. Like the business isn't going to disappear. Life is not going to end. If you say, okay, we're going to halt something in the business, maybe take a break, take a breather, go on hiatus, take a moment. Like nothing around business is going to like end if you do that and you communicate those. So I think when you have an idea, let's talk about this. So how do you bring an idea to life? What's some of the basic steps around what you should be thinking about when you have an idea about running a business or opening a business? What's the next thing? Like I got this idea and then what? Where do you go from here? Nobody knows apparently. Neither one of you have an idea.
I was like, Karen.
I'm sorry. Karen's brain is really broken this morning. So this is where we are. I mean, when you have an idea, it really comes down to, for me, is like, do you actually want to do that thing? Is that something that you want to do for the long haul, or are you looking to do this for the short term? Like the thing is there's no right or wrong way to do it, because we talked about this the other day on our live show. Like there are some people that like to build businesses and then sell them off. And there was this thing that was said that it was like, women don't like to do that, but I kind of challenge that too. Like I do know women out there that want to make money and see that as a way to make money. So it's really what you're exposed to at the end of the day.
This is true.
Like, what are you exposed to, and how do you want to make an impact in this world? At the end of the day, like either are viable. So when it comes back to your idea, like, how long do you want to stay with it? Do you want to stay with it for the long term? So really it comes down to like, what's your plan of action now? That's the first thing that we did whenever we first started building Truth Bomb, is we sat down and we were like, okay, like what's our business plan? Like, what is it that we want to actually bring to the world of women in business? What is it that we want to actually create an impact with? So that really, like for me, like when you have the idea, it's like sitting down and doing that step first, because a lot of us will just jump straight into marketing. We have this great idea, we have this great product maybe, and we just jump straight to marketing without really knowing who is our audience, who is it that we're actually talking to, who is it that we actually want to connect with. Like that at the end of the day gets really fleshed out when you build out a solid business plan and you actually have a direction that you're looking to go. Because you look at any business that's worth its weight in gold, it's spent time doing that. There are no long business plans out there, or there are no businesses out there that have been here for a long time that didn't have a business plan to begin with. I'd be shocked if there was. Like, I would be shocked if there are ones that I would love to see that. But each and every business owner that was like, I want this to succeed, I want this to go in a certain way, we've got to figure out who's our target people, who is it that we want to connect with. Like, that's where it's got to begin with too. You have the idea, and then you've got to kind of figure out, okay, now where do we go with this idea? And is there already an audience that's already in tune with this idea that maybe we can tweak the idea a little bit? So
yeah, you always bring your own personality to your idea. So it's like, even though your idea is already out there, nobody's going to do it the way you do it.
Right.
Because you are your own individual person. And like I said, what you said about Karen, about, is it something, how passionate are you about this? How much do you really like your idea? How long do you really want to do it? And that's also, it's like, how much do you like talking about it? Because that's to get your idea out into the world. You actually have to tell people what you're doing. And it's like, how do you like talking about this? Is this something that you enjoy presenting and sharing with people? And it's like, because that's going to have a lot to do with how much you really want to stay in this. And it's like, because you do have to actually tell people what you do. And so it's just like, I think that has, like, your idea may be fantastic, but you do have to ask yourself, is this something that I really love? And what about this do I really love? And is this just a passing interest?
Yeah. And I think that goes back to too, I know a lot of entrepreneurs in the beginning, and I'm going to kind of point to the segment of females that I've met over the years, where a lot of us that I've, like, a lot of clients I've met over the years, a lot of people I've mentored, they have been trying to build their business. They were wanting to get their business. They got in here for marketing coaching from me. They wanted to go do that. The thing is, they never told anybody they were in a business. Right? Their spouse didn't know. Their children didn't know.
How?
Like, I know. Like, how do they not know?
Because the idea, and they were spending money on coaching in different ways to build their business, because they wanted to then prove that they could be a successful entrepreneur, but they were building in secret. And the thing with that one is that if you're on social media and you have a business and you can't tell anybody that you're in business, how do you expect to grow the business? Like, it always baffled me how much that, especially as the group of females, the different ones, and it's not every single female, it wasn't everyone, but there was a good group or segment of that didn't want to, like they were afraid that what people would say about the type of business they're in, right? They would feel like they were being judged by the whole thing. So sometimes taking that idea and bringing it to market requires a significant belief of faith. Like you have got to be willing to do it. And I know in the beginning we're told to hold their cards close to your chest, especially if you're doing a business, because you don't want somebody else to steal it. Like that's another mentality out there, the fear of somebody else taking your idea and doing better with it. But if that's the case, hello everyone, have you seen social media recently? Yeah. I swear to gosh, everybody is stealing everybody else's idea using the same methodology. So this whole idea of playing it close to the chest, no one else is going to know. If you're in business with a brand new idea or something that's going to make a difference, at some point somebody else is going to kind of branch off from that. That's really, if it wasn't for that and people's different opinions around how things should be run, how social media should be used, how, like, we would never be where we are today. Our phones would never be in our hands today if it wasn't someone had an idea and then said, I can make that better, or I want to do this with it instead. It's understanding that we are basically building off of each other and being okay with that. And not looking at it as a competition, but looking at it as like, you know what, I'm really grateful that I had this idea, and then look at everything that's come out of this, right? And there are some legal ways to protect yourself, some patents and things that you can do that if somebody does use it, you do get paid royalties for it, right? So there are things that it doesn't mean it's going to be stolen from you. There are definitely, a lot of things that happen in the world of business, but don't let the fear of the unknown or what might happen keep you from actually just taking that step and bringing that business to life. Because I think sometimes that fear stops us from doing it because, like, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this one, or I'm going to fail at this, or I just don't have the resources. Well, you can always get the resources. And so that's one of the big things I see a lot of people, including myself, when I was first getting started in this world, there was a hesitancy around it because I didn't know what people would think. And especially when I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I'm talking about how you want to leave your 9-to-5 job, right? Like, what if somebody I work with sees this? But the funny thing is my chefs and everybody else, my coworkers that saw that, supported the dream. They didn't bash the dream, right? And so it's really
that's what I discovered too, is that people, because I didn't just talk about it on social media, I was talking about it in front of your face. And so it was even at work too that I would do it, and I did it in a way that it wasn't uncomfortable for people, and so they were like, oh, good job, I fully support this. Like, I heard that more often than not. Now if they're talking behind my back, that's their problem. I don't really care. I don't need to concern myself with that kind of talk. Like, if somebody has something to say about me and they don't want to tell me, that has more to do with their character than my character. So at the end of the day, have at it. You do you, friend.
And it's funny. I think so many times we think we're going to be unsupported when we dive into our business ideas and our business ventures. The reality is that you're probably more supported than you think. It's in the communication and the understanding, especially for business. You can't build a business alone.
Right.
I think, when you take an idea and you want to bring it to the world, you're going to need a network and a team, and you're going to need exposure for this. And I think the one thing that I will always say is, like, Karen did this beautifully. Like we talked about, you need a plan. I can't tell you how many times I've built a business and to wing it, build the plane in the air, so as they say. And every one of those planes has predominantly crashed, or it's gone through like significant ups and downs in the breeze. What I love about what we're building here at Truth Bomb is that I think because we have this plan, we set this out intentionally as like, this is going to be the business that shifts everything, that becomes the legacy for the three of us, that really brings our talents and skills together. And we sat down and we went through this process, and we refined the process.
Couple times.
And we continue to do. Like, I was even thinking this morning in the shower, because that's where I always have my good thinking thoughts. I was like, you know what, let's go through and like relook at our business plan again and just touch base where we're at, just to kind of see, because it is important to go back and just have that foundational base that you can check yourself against. Is this working? Is this not working? Kind of a thing. I think as a business, we get so caught up in the marketing of our business that we don't go back and look at, okay, what was our targeted focus? Who was our audience? What was our financial strategy? And knowing those things are in place as we continue to do this really starts being the shift for us. And it just kind of regrounds us in what we're doing. It grounds us in our website copy. It grounds us in our emails. It grounds us in our offers. And that's really important. Otherwise, you're basically creating at the willy-nilly of your audience, which can be good. But also, I know a lot of content creators that burn out because they're in such constant creation for other people, trying to be everything to everybody, instead of saying, okay, I'm not doing this. I know somebody that can do this for you. And really like handing things off to people instead of trying to hold on so tightly for your business. Because I think that's where we hurt ourselves the most. And I'm learning that in a lot of ways, is letting go and being more open to like helping people come through and do what they need to do, because it is beyond me what's capable, right? It's greater than me. And the more people that are contributing to the growth of Truth Bomb, the more women that continue to come in and serve this community, the more women that are coming in from different walks of life, sharing their business knowledge, really makes the next generation of female entrepreneurship that much easier. And it's going to take all of us to create that conversation.
Yeah. So going back a little bit to what you were talking about with like the business plan, like that's the heart and soul of what we teach inside of Unlocking My Millions too. It's like teaching you, even if you've had a business for 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. If you haven't fully set it out properly, then you may come up against some things in yourself. You may be hitting that glass ceiling and struggling, and you don't know how come. And it could just be going back to the basics, and to me, it's always going back to the basics. Like if something feels stuck or something's not working, I always go back to the basics. For me, my basics are, well, what am I thinking right now? Like, what are the thoughts that I have? And I literally am spending so much time in my own thought world and going, that doesn't serve me. I don't need that anymore. So, but going back to the basics can also mean, yes, go back to your thoughts, but also what is your focus in your business? Do you have that business plan fully laid out when it comes to your branding, when it comes to your audience, when it comes to your team, when it comes to your money, your finances, when it comes to your marketing, all the things? Like, we have set it out so perfectly inside of Unlocking My Millions, where it's like, these are the things that you need if you want to make that 6, 7, 8-figure business at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's also understanding it's not a once and done thing. It's like, I think so often it's like, if people do create a business plan, at the very beginning, they're looking at, how do I present this to a banker or something like that? And really your business plan is there to serve you and to serve how you are creating and continuing to create your business. And we all mold and change because as entrepreneurs, we're the most people that do personal and professional development, and that changes you. And it changes your business. And so it's like at least once a year to go back and relook at that and see, it's like, what am I still aligned with? Where have I gotten off track where I really wanted to be this way? Or does it need to tweak and change and update it? Yeah. And it's like, where is your messaging aligning with your original idea? Where is it changed? And does it need to realign, or does it need to be tweaked?
Yeah. And I think even for us, when we were building out Truth Bomb Academy, and even as the company for Truth Bomb Marketing, I remember going back to our business plan. I swear to you, it felt like the beginning of last year. I think every month we were looking at it. we were going up against it. So what does it say here? Okay, this is what it is. Like, and even as we were building out Unlocking My Millions, we sourced our own business plan in terms of where we got stuck doing it. That was one of the big things for us, is because, and I know this, I get calls and I get messages from different female entrepreneurs that say, I want to build my business, but I got to this one section. I don't know how to do projections. I don't know how to do my finances. I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do the marketing. And they're getting stuck in the development of their plan because it is asking questions that, if you've never ran a business before, or you haven't been presented with those thoughts and ideas, they can stump you. I mean, they stumped us. I remember Karen coming to me one time going, what's KPI? And I was like, oh, well, there's this. And I didn't learn about that until I was like out of owning my restaurant, in with another company, about my 3rd year in. And then all of a sudden this word KPI came to all of us. Like, even like you recognizing that a successful business doesn't always have all the answers. And just because it looks successful on the outside doesn't mean that something's not going on underneath with the foundation that you may not be aware of, because that education hasn't been needed until it was exposed to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things I'm trying to break down, or we're trying to break down really inside the Unlocking My Millions, is I want to expose you to the world of business, like education, faster, so that you have an awareness of it, even if you're not ready for it. Because those things, just knowing what those are in the world of business, is going to help you understand how to better structure, build, and create those connections and collaborations in business, right? Because there's so many moving elements, and even there's things I don't know, which is why I'm always looking to reach out and find, somebody that does grant writing, somebody that does better in the financial education, somebody that does really specific targeted one type of method, marketing or advertising, because those are the avenues I myself just don't want to spend my life in. I want to find the experts and the expertise and have them start taking over those areas, because I want to be in my genius. And I think a lot of times when we talk about being a female entrepreneur, we are in our own genius as being a female entrepreneur. And what else are we taking care of, worried about, anxious about, anxiety about? Is it children? Is it our spouse? Is it our parents? Is it somebody else? Like, what is our other friends, family? What does that look like? Because we don't just always just worry about business. We also look at who is the supporting, how is this impacting? Are the kids getting to school on time or not getting to school on time? Like, there's so many, are the animals taken care of? Are they going to the vet? Are we getting groceries? Are we doing, there's so many things that go through our minds that sometimes, like I started this whole podcast with, you got to slow down. And I think that, and I know Unlocking My Millions is really getting female entrepreneurs to slow down, look at really what their intention is with their business, what they want to do, look at it fully, get the bigger picture so that they can bring it into their life in a more holistic way.
I love it.
So that's a big piece for me, and I think we've had this conversation, but that's Unlocking My Millions is not just, hey, this is just a business plan or just a community, like a training. It's really is community. And we're always on the lookout for the women that are in business that can bring an expertise to some of the women that don't know who to go to. Because that's one of the big things I get asked all the time. When I have an idea, it's like, who do I go to? Who do I hire? How do I find the person that can help me do this? Because your head is down in business. If your head is down in business, you're not looking up. And if you're not looking up, you have no idea all the resources and all the technology and all the stuff that's available to you. And at the same time, do you have the capacity to learn it all?
No, and I think oftentimes I hear women almost brag about being able to do it all. That solopreneur has become a badge of honor. And
the mompreneur.
Yeah. And moms, it's even as a mom, you don't want to be doing it all. It's like you will enjoy, especially it's a homeschool moms. Let me talk to you for a second. It's like when you think about homeschooling your children, can't wait for the day you're teaching them algebra in high school? I mean, I know and then my kids were in kindergarten, I dreaded that. But the thing is, I found other women, not even just women, but other resources to teach my kids algebra, because believe me, we would never have gotten through it. And I mean, I got through fractions. I was good. That's about it. But there's things that in homeschooling I did not want to do. Same thing with our businesses, and women, we collaborate fantastic when we really embrace that it takes a village to raise your children. It takes a village to build a business. And it's like, yes, you can be the only person on your LLC, but there are still resources out there, or sole entrepreneur, whatever your entity is. Doesn't mean you have to have partners like we do here in Truth Bomb, but there are other people that you resource to help you. Like I was my kid's teacher, only teacher on their diplomas. But believe me, they had many teachers. And it's the same thing with your business. You're going to have other people that you resource.
Yeah.
And how do you find those resources, those reliable resources? Because believe me, I've heard the nightmares too. And and women can also be very catty. Really, it's awful. I don't know why.
Yeah, but I don't think we have to be. I think
We
we've been
don't.
told that we should be, but I
Yeah.
don't think we have to be.
We don't have to be. And that's the beauty of it. But it's like, I don't like when I see that on social media and I see people, it's like, I don't want to have partners because such and such happened. And that's the thing. It's like, you have to, how do you find the people that you align with? Where do you find the people that are recommended by other women because they are upright and honest and trustworthy?
Yeah. I think a lot of that too is intuition. I think as women, because I've met and I've had conversations around this too. They're like, I know I got into a partnership. Like, I know that wasn't the best fit, but because of how it was presented or the information, I got into it anyway, and it didn't work out the way that was. So again, it's like trusting your intuition around how you're going to work with somebody. But the other thing too is inside of Unlocking My Millions, we actually talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
We actually, because one of the biggest things I will tell you in partnerships is open communication.
Yes.
It is absolutely key. It is know thyself and then know how to communicate with your partners in a way that they understand. Just like any relationship, you're building that relationship. So the more open and honest you are, the more that you're talking about, hey, that made me feel X. This had this impact on me. And I know Brene Brown talks about this in becoming like a great manager, a great leader. She says, if your communication isn't open and you're not willing to say, if I screwed up today, or I apologize for how that came across, or yes, we need to work, or how is it best you work? Like, you really start to understand the strengths of your team. And that's really what you want to play into, right? So I think a lot of the times when you talk about who's going to be on my team, it is getting to know people. And I know one of the things that we were looking at when we first got started was the partnership contract, right? Like, how does that look? How does that get built? What are some of the documents we need? How do we do the financial payout? And it was such an unknown, but the great thing is that we went and had resources. We have incredible mentors, right? That were willing to give us the paperwork, the point us in the right direction for legal information. And then that opened up another conversation between us, right? Like, how are we doing this? Where is everything going? What do we need on here? And it was so funny when we were talking with our business mentor about this. They were like, I don't know what you don't know about business, because they've been in business so long, right? So it's sometimes like we don't even know the questions to ask. And that's one of the things I love about what we're doing with Unlocking My Millions, is that when you bring all these business women together, they might have a piece of a puzzle that we don't know to ask, but they ask because of the type of business they're in.
Right.
Whether they're a product-based business, they're a real estate agent, whether they're an investor, whether they're a financial resource, whether they're an insurance agent, whether they're a content creator, a traffic strategist, an email. I mean, like, the world of business and the entities that support businesses is so vast that you don't know who to look for. And that's really where Unlocking My Millions is bringing together these women that if you have a question or trying to figure something out, you can go into the community and say, hey, I've got a question around this. And the fact that it's off social media, right? It's not, on its public domain. It's in its own private locked down community. So anything you share in there is protected. It's not being sold out. It's not being advertised to. It's a community of women really looking to support and help women get to that next level, because I truly believe that there is no doubt in my mind that from Unlocking My Millions, we will create more female millionaires in the business world than ever before. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And it's because of the fact that we're bringing them resources, and we've revamped the training around business, and we've evolved it to this century. We've evolved it to how women work through the process of running a business with everything else they may or may not be dealing with. And we've given them the grace and ease to be able to ask questions where they're not feeling like, I don't have the knowledge, or I don't know about this, and really finding those resources that better and help us, that we're actually refining. There are so many women out there that are like, yeah, this way of doing business is so broken. I've redesigned it to do this way. And I'm finding that in like the financial world. I'm finding that in the marketing world. I'm finding that like everywhere. And so it's really one of my intent is to continue to bring that knowledge to women, because it's hard to find it on your own when your head is down doing what you love.
It is. But I love it's like that we do talk, like we talk about the idea, we talk about your brand, but one of my favorite topics that we discuss inside Building Unlocking My Millions is that team. And it's like, and really the questions that we go through, really, it's like help you to really define who is on your team. And it's not always who you think. It's not, it's fascinating, and it's not always, and sometimes those who you think may be on your team, they really thinking it through, they're really not. And it's understanding who is and who isn't, and then and find, and like, and within that, the resources that are available to you. It is one of my favorite chapters we go through.
Yeah, sections we do. You know what's really interesting, as we've been building out Truth Bomb, how many women have come to us, and specifically one of our other really talented team members that really showed up and said, I want to help grow this. Like, when you put the intention out there to do so much, you will attract people that just want to make that viable, right? And you just never know who's going to show up for that. That's where being open and accepting to those different informations, because everyone's a contribution. Whether, and every single female that joins the Unlocking My Millions and goes through Truth Bomb Academy, they are a contribution to another female in the business, right? They are a contribution to somebody else in there. What they share, their ideas, what their experiences. It literally creates one of the best, most organic, holistic places to come play. And it is all about play. We've discussed that. We have so much play over there. It's ridiculous. So with that, I know Karen's like still kind of hanging out over there. Anything last minute things to add? Yeah.
I mean, the big thing is that, like, if you want to be successful, it's all about community, and that's what we really talked about. Like if you want to grow, then that's really where it comes down to. You don't have to know it all. There's no way you know it all. But having the resources and the ability to find the answers to questions can be life-changing. So
and I think what I love about what we're building inside of Unlocking My Millions is that you don't have to go to the internet to find the information. You can come to the community and source the community for the information. And I think that's a better way when you talk about networking to grow your business and everything else, because you're there to serve and you're there to receive. And I love that back and forth with emails. And I remember one of the biggest things I've ever been told about any business is it's not what you know about your business, it's the relationships you create in business. The relationships will always be more beneficial, more profitable, more life-changing than anything else that you're actually creating. So getting and having those relationships beyond you and having those higher level business conversations, because you can't have these conversations with your customer because your customer expects you to deliver whatever you're delivering, but you yourself as a business need to be in that business communication and service. And that's really where we're like, hey, let's talk business. Let's help you get to that next level, and let's have some fun. Let's really unlock your millions. So if you're a female entrepreneur that's been listening in, I hope you have been, come hang out with us. Go over to truthbombmarketing.com, sign up for Unlocking My Millions, get inside this community, unlock this amazing training and this playbook that you now have access to when you become a member, get access to all of our resources, all of our experts, and our training that we're providing in there, and really connect with the women in this community, because you never know who you're going to find that's going to either partner, transform, or be an impact, or just give you that one little nugget that will shift everything you think you know about your business. So with that, thanks for joining us here on our podcast. If you are listening to us on our amazing platforms that are out there podcasting, give us a 5-star rating. We love our 5-star ratings. We love comments from you also, so feel free to comment, share. We're loving that too. And if you're watching us on our podcast on YouTube, definitely subscribe and give a thumbs up, because we like thumbs up also. And we love sharing this knowledge. So we are going to be doing a whole heck of a lot, but honestly, it's all about you. So if you want to learn what it is to unlock your millions, head over to truthbombmarketing.com, and we'll see you inside the academy.